Hello, good morning. Okay, so hi, I have this one piece of hair that has decided to stick out over here. Hello, everyone, it's Dr. Sasheen. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time, your break from the craziness that is the top of the week. I am your host, your guide, your tea drinker, all the things who is creating an open space where we chit chat about whatever comes to mind for about 30 minutes, bringing down the cortisol levels and raising the serotonin, which is the good stuff, so that we can get through the rest of our day. So, hey, welcome back. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please say hello. Drop me a hello in the chat. Let's make sure that I am live. And look at that. For the first time in a long time, YouTube has actually told me that I went live. I love it when that happens. So today, oh, hang on a second. Let me plug this thing in because it's about to die. There we go. So what are we drinking today? Good morning, Wendy. It's good to see you. I am breaking out all of the stuff, little bit by little bit, breaking out the stuff. So today's cup of the morning, Peanuts Gang. It's the Peanuts Gang. I know it's not technically Halloween anymore. We've already passed that, but we're not to Thanksgiving. So that kind of liminal space between Halloween and Thanksgiving, I think is fair game for whatever it is, whatever bleed over holiday that you want to have happening during that time before we get into turkeys and fall leaves and this, that, and the other. Because my tree that used to have so many great leaves on it is now bare. It got cold, it got warm, it got cold. My tree was like, I'm done. So it shook off all its leaves and it's gone. So today's tea cup of choice is the Great Flying Ace. That is Snoopy and sitting in the pumpkin patch because one of my favorite holiday flicks is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So this says, welcome Great Pumpkin. So that's what we're drinking tea out of. I know it's a huge cup too. It's like bigger, almost as big as my head. It's pretty fantastic. So what are we talking about this morning? We're chit-chatting. We're making a space in the world for a little conversation, a lot of peace, a lot of just connectivity. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning. Okay, I'm gonna get it wrong. I am Uhura. I am Uhura. Um, got matcha with oat milk. Oh, look, that sounds amazing. And agave, I love that. I saw teas made from flowers. Oh, I have a whole, I have a short on my channel, but hang on a second. When they ask, and you shall receive. So I have some petite bouquets, which are the flowering teas. If you look on if you're interested in these teas, I like the Numi ones. This is a variety pack, has four different bulbs: dragon lily, golden jasmine, sunset oolong, and lavender dream. Comes with four different flowering pods, and literally, when you put them in the water, and I actually have this teapot. When you put them in the water, they flower out. So I have on the YouTube channel, I have a link to my store if you would like to try these. I have a link to this particular product in my store. But yes, teas made from flowers. I love them. I love flowering teas. One of my favorite things. They're very subtle in some ways, but some of them are very strong. So you got to kind of like find your bliss. I like I don't know. I think I like them all. Like I said, I got this little variety pack and I wanted to try the different ones. But yeah, flowering teas, petite bouquets from Numi. I'm sure there are other companies that make them. This has just happened to be the one that I have. Just happened to be the one that I have. And I have, like I said, I have the little teapot. Do I have it handy? Or is it tucked in there? I think it's tucked way in the back. Anyway, but I have the little glass teapot that it comes in so you can watch it flower. Yes. Your coffee is ready. I need to get my tea ready. We're not having a petite bouquet. We're having a dragon pearl jasmine. It's one of my favorite teas, y'all. So, and I like it in the morning. It sets me up for the rest of the day. Coffee for you, Wendy. I feel like for my coffee drinkers. out there. I'm not a coffee drinker. I tried. I did. I tried. I tell the story of growing up living near a coffee factory as a kid. The smell of roasting coffee, it's an acquired taste, but it's not bad, But the smell of roasting coffee it's okay. I can handle that. The smell of burning coffee, though, that did a number on me because sometimes the oils from, and I knew the coffee wasn't burning because we took a tour of the factory. It was the Folgers Company. I lived in Kansas City, Missouri. That's where I grew up. And it was the Folgers Coffee Company. And you could smell them roasting all the time. And there's actually, I think the roastery is still down there, though I'm not sure. Again, I don't drink coffee. But sometimes what we found out was that sometimes the oils, when they were roasting, would just, they would overheat and you would get this acrid, just crazy burning smell. Oh, it was so bad. And unfortunately, when you're kids, all you get the sense memory of something just gets stuck in your head. Um, and it just never goes away. So unfortunately, every time I smell roasting coffee as I was growing up, my association was always that it was burning, and so burnt coffee. So yeah, I don't really do coffee, but I know that there are amazing coffees in the world. I have good friends who love coffees. I know that there are. You're drinking, oh, Gin Mica green tea with roasted rice. Ooh, now I am curious. I have not heard green tea with roasted rice. I like this. Hang on, let me get the kettle. The kettle has kettles, so let me, as y'all know, we use a real old fashioned kettle around here, and it is. I like it because it keeps my water hot, even if I'm over here yammering when I should be dropping some water on my tea. Okay, so it's now steeping. Green tea with roasted rice. Now I am intrigued, my friend. I am intrigued. I'm going to check that out. I just did organizing and putting it away maybe an hour before tea time. Yeah, look at you. I teach college. I'm a college professor. I teach in the mornings so that I literally just walked out of class and into tea time where I am getting my first chance to drink tea of the day. I know, Michelle. I'm just like, what is that? That sounds interesting. So as I was saying, if you came in late and you didn't get a chance to see my teacup, I'm so proud of it. It is my Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown teacup. I know it's so big, but I was saying that that liminal space between Halloween and Thanksgiving, where people aren't quite ready to dive into the, the winter, Christmas, holiday stuff, but Thanksgiving isn't really one of those holidays where I don't know, I don't really decorate the house for Thanksgiving. But I love Halloween. I'm not gonna lie. And The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is one of my favorite Halloween movies. It's one of my favorites. And so I have this big old cup that is as big as my head to have tea with today because I'm trying to bring a little bit of that fun sense of the season forward to next week because next week is Thanksgiving. So next week is Thanksgiving. Woo! Telling you. I'm telling you. So I was thinking, oh, yes, I'm going to talk about that towards the end. So make sure I've got it in my head. You'll start to see it post as well. For those of you who are new here, this group is talking about that we're going to get together for a little Halloween, not Halloween, excuse me, a little holiday party, quote unquote, in the community. I have this grand idea. I'm so overly ambitious, right? I have this really grand idea, so I'm going to be posting about it. So you'll, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, so that you can see community posts, do so you can come to the party next week. We're having a party, a get together, a soiree is what I like to call it, next Friday, on Black Friday, as opposed to worrying about who's buying what to whom and boycotting and this, that, and the other. We're going to get together and share our holiday collections, talk about what's coming up, decorate a few things, chit chat, whatever the case may be. It is a time to hold space and clear space for the joy that we are calling in for the holiday season because we're not letting anybody steal our joy from the season. I'm so excited to see your peanuts online. Oh my gosh, I love that. It plays music. Now I'm totally intrigued. I loved the Peanuts. When we were growing up, for some of us, I'm not gonna assume, but part of the holiday season was watching all the holiday shows, right? All the crazy little It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and the Valentine specials that the Peanuts put out, and just I was actually on. I'm gonna so date myself. Around Halloween on Threads, there was a conversation about old witchy shows that used to come on after school around the holiday season, and we got to talking about Miss Switch and the witchy show. We couldn't figure out what it was called, but we remember that her name was Miss Switch, and she was this witch, and it came on around holiday Halloween, and it was an after school special, and we got to talking about after school specials and how there was always something. Some kind of little after school special show, cartoony around the holidays. Anyway, it brought up a sense of the holiday TV used to be, especially for kids, used to be a lot of fun. It wasn't so serious. There was a lot of really friendly stuff that families could watch that allowed for a little bonding, right? A little appreciation of the season, a little fun time around the holidays, and it felt very much like bonding experience. Now, of course, life was hard for a lot of people, and we don't. I'm not dismissing any of that. I'm not looking back as like those were the good old days. All I'm saying is that there was a time when we would race home to watch the after school special, which could have been anything. We would look forward to the Peanut specials that were coming on TV, and like the Miss Switch, these very specific things that were geared towards just bringing a little, I don't know, a little of the magic of the holidays to life. So all that's to say, every year it's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown plays in my house. Strangely enough, it plays in the house. So in terms of the coming holiday season, how are you going to protect your joy this next week? Who's going who's getting together with family or friends for the Thanksgiving? Is anyone doing a Friendsgiving or a Thanksgiving? What are you cooking? What are you thinking about? And most importantly, how are you going to protect your sanity and your peace as you go and hang out with people? Do you have a plan? What's your exit strategy if things go awry and you're done? You've done all you can do and you can't do it anymore. I like to plan multiple contingencies because I have a very my social candle is very much I have a large social candle, but a small wick, if that makes sense. I want to burn socially for a little bit of time, and I have a lot of bandwidth for people. But once my wick gets to a certain point, I'm done. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to put my feet up. I'm going to put on my loungers. I'm going to hang out in my space. I've probably got a couple good books lined up and ready. So I know that my social candle burns in a certain way. And I'm going to make sure that I have planned my season, especially next week, because Thanksgiving is about trying to get together with family and friends that you might not have seen. It's one of those holidays where everybody's got to work like Monday, so no one's really going anywhere necessarily, especially given the cost of airfare these days. But there's a sense that you want to make sure that you're protecting your bubble of peace, especially this year. Like we're not going to lie, it's a hard year. It's a hard spot, right? But to make sure that you can enjoy your peacefulness, what are your plans for your own personal mental health next week? Where do you see that as have you made that plan? Do you think about your own mental health and where that needs to take you? Okay, we've steeped. Pause for a moment. I'm moving tea bags. Moving tea bags and adding honey, very important. Give me just a moment. Okay, perfect. Just a little scoop of tea, which I'm trying not to get everywhere. All right, smells so good. It's Dragon Pearl this morning. It smells so good. It's one of my favorite teas ever. Okay, so as I was saying, how are you going to navigate through next week so that your peace stays intact? That's the question I want. Um, went to brunch with my sister Saturday. Ooh, nice. Where did you go to brunch? I love a good brunch. We plan to be home relaxing on the actual holiday next week. Cooking but making turkey sandwiches, not a sit down meal. Hey, this is probably going to be the first. I haven't cooked on Thanksgiving in years. I have catered. I have ordered full meals from local grocery stores, but popping an oven on and making all the fixins, I haven't done that in years. No, I haven't done it in years. I don't knock anyone who does it, but my life has been so busy for the past few years. I want again, my candle. I want the social connection of being with some friends and some family. I don't want the responsibility of feeding these people. I, I think about dinners, breakfast, lunch, and dinners 7 days a week, all the other time, right? So the last thing on my mind is whether or not I can get a turkey ready. But what I do like are certain few dishes. So if we order in as a family, we'll decide where we're going to go, or if we're going to go out to order in. But if we decide to cater, we'll each make one thing that's our favorite thing, something that we would love to eat. So I might make au gratin potatoes. I love au gratin potatoes. I might make them au gratin potato. I might make deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs. Um, or this year, I might actually try a sweet potato souffle or a sweet potato cheesecake. I don't like pumpkins. Um, the whole pumpkin everywhere thing is crazy to me, but I love sweet potatoes. I love sweet potato pie, but I don't make sweet potato pie. But one year, a really good friend of mine made sweet potato souffle and it was fantastic. So I think I'm going to steal his recipe and maybe I'll make that. But we try to do just one thing that's our thing. But the big meal, all the trimmings and the fixings, I leave that. We leave that to people who are really good at it. And then I don't have to brine turkeys in my house because I don't really want to brine turkeys in my house. Um, and if we can support especially in this economy, it's if we can support and make sure that we're spreading the love by ordering meals and allowing people to have work in an economy where not everybody has work, then I also think that's really important too. And so part of protecting the peace of the season, oh yeah, Michelle, like you're saying, this is like exactly right. Local small business restaurant. Yes, it was custard stuffed French toast? Listen, lady, with cinnamon apples on top? Okay. You are talking my language. A good brunch and happy hour, I could eat bucket book in the day, right? Brunch, happy hour. Literally could just book in the day and be happy clam. Happy clam. But that local small business, that's really important because especially at the holiday time where so much is dependent upon the consumer economy, a lot of businesses are going to make 6 months worth of their business is going to come, or their revenue is going to come during this time of year. I'm not talking about boycotting Black Friday or not boycotting Black Friday. We have plans on Black Friday, so like, I'm running a workshop. The Life Reimagined workshop is happening on Black Friday, and I'm hosting our holiday party on Black Friday. So we got plans. But in terms of the holiday meal that I'm talking about, I do find that a lot of places who cater to holiday cooking, this is a big time of year. So allowing them to shine and do what they do really well, and then I don't have to cook. All I got to do is clean a few dishes and throw them in the dishwasher. Listen, this is my kind of holiday. And the first year that I gave myself permission to not cook was liberating. I remember watching um a live stream. I was on a live stream with a business coach years ago. Danielle Winningham, I'll never forget it. She's still a business coach. I just haven't been on her live streams lately. But she said something that I found so profound. It was around Thanksgiving and she was supposed to make mac and cheese and she didn't. What she did was she called and she got it made. She had someone make the mac and cheese because she's busy. She's an entrepreneur, she's a business owner, she's busy. And her family got so upset that she didn't make the mac and cheese because they really wanted her mac and cheese. They wanted the nostalgia of mac and cheese made by mom. And she was like, but mom makes all the money that makes the mac and cheese. And so because I have to make a choice. between the money to make the mac and cheese and making the mac and cheese. And I'd rather make the money to make the mac and cheese, let somebody else make the mac and cheese, and spend time with you. And spend time with you. I don't want to stand in the kitchen cooking. I want to spend time in the family and let somebody else cook. And I thought to myself, well, why not? That is a really great perspective if you are struggling with your sense of duty or responsibility around a holiday that sometimes people get really up in their feelings about. So after that point, I have never been the household where people came and brought all their stuff because it's not really my thing necessarily. I'll open my house, but I'm not going to do all the cooking. But I began gently leading my family astray down the path of, if we let someone cater this for us, do we really want to have to do turkey? Come on. Come on. And slowly I got them used to the idea of just letting someone cater it. Someone who's really good at it and does a really great job, and it tastes amazing, and we get to spend time as a family. We get to still warm it up and serve each other on plates, and we sit around and we chit chat, but nobody has slaved and no one is stressed out over, did they get the right ingredient? Did they remember that this person's allergic to this thing? Did they is it going to taste as good as grandma? All that stuff just gets left off the table. And what gets left on the table is the only reason that I'm interested in Thanksgiving anyway, and that's to see people that I don't get to see all the time. I don't care about cooking. I mean, I love to cook, but I don't care about cooking. They did tell us they were opening on Thanksgiving. Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. The economy of consumers, which is what we all are, isn't going to go away. And though the government opened back up, and I know friends who just went back to work yesterday, and some who are just going back to work today. Wouldn't it be nice if they could think about just relaxing back into maybe having a paycheck coming and not whether or not they need to figure out how to cook everything? I don't know. I feel like we put so much pressure on the appearance of things that we forget that there are people underneath the things who maybe just want to see your smiling face. Maybe they just want to give you a hug and a kiss and they don't care if you made the crescent rolls or not. I mean, they could care, but I don't think they do. I think this tea is called my name. Hang on. Mm. Okay, so because y'all know me, I get long-winded and we'll be here all day, and I don't want to forget that. We are having a holiday soiree on Black Friday, the details of which will be dropping today. So please subscribe to the channel and check out the post in the community threads to see what we're doing. I have a fantastic idea that I hope is fantastic to bring the community together and to we're going to create something and we're going to hang out together and we're going to talk about the wonderful holiday season. So we're going to do it via Zoom. It will not be live on YouTube. This is a closed party, invitation only, so you will most assuredly have to sign up to get in. It is free. We only ask that you bring yourself, your holiday accoutrement, and your expansive attitude for merry making, because we're going to make merry together. We're going to expand our circle of joy and peace to include each other for a day. And we're going to trim a little trees. We're going to trim some trees, or we're going to show our baubles, or whatever the case may be. We're having a party. Bring your favorite drinks, bring your favorite holiday snacks, and come to the party next Friday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, and hang out with us about an hour. I know people have things to do, and I believe in hanging out for a good time, if not a long time. That is my motto. So I think it's important to, especially at a time when, and this is hot topic of the moment, um, people's mental health is really struggling with the isolation factor of having, the government shutdown, the economy, everything, right? And y'all know this is not an apolitical channel. I will call it like I see it. It's been a rough 365 days. And right now the push to shop, to spend, to consume is a band-aid over the fact that people are really struggling and they're having a hard time finding the joy this season because of all the things that are going on. So in an attempt to help at least my community find some joy this season, I'm creating a space for us, a space where we can get together and talk about and share and enjoy each other's company. And hopefully, the warmth of that light that we light together next Friday will help carry us through the holiday season. Because let's face it, there are a lot of things right now that are testing our mental acuity, that are testing that are pushing our peace boundaries. And this is our way of pushing back because protecting our peace where we follow rule one around here, our peace is non negotiable. Sometimes we have to fight to do that. We have to carve a hard boundary, not a soft one, but a hard boundary that says, you don't get to pass this point because coming past this point requires me to sacrifice my mental and physical well being for you, and I'm just not doing it. So, it is important that we find and carve those spaces for ourselves and for each other. And I want you to find that place of peace, especially in the next week when the noise of buy, buy, consume, consume, because the economy is going to go off a cliff if you don't. We remember we lived through the 2008 George George Bush, well Bush too. Do you ever just stop and think about how much you've lived through and go, "Tag on it"? It was supposed to be easier at this point, not more of the same. Okay, anyway, I digress. We have lived through the economy falling off a cliff many, many times, but I will say that post pandemic, the loneliness and isolation that people are feeling has been exacerbated by some of the things that are now happening. So I want to encourage you to carve with a, I don't care if you use a butcher knife or a chainsaw, but to carve an island where your piece stands and then put sharks in the water all around it. Okay? And part of what I'm trying to do is put sharks all around this island that I'm building for us that says, you can come over, but if you are anything but a peace peddler, we're going to feed you to the sharks. We're going to put you out. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, thank you. Please hit the like button and let the algorithm know that you want to see more of this, um, and that you want to know when I'm going live. But I want you to think about that I right before we came live. This one's tough. Right before we came live, I had gotten a notification of local news on my phone that one of the local pet shelters had given out food for the holiday, or were giving out food because we have food pantries, and this was a pet shelter, so they were doing a pet food pantry, and they were out of food in 2 hours. People were just lined up in their cars, like around the block to get pet food for their pets. And I had made a post about 3 weeks ago on my Facebook account just saying, if you're going to be giving this holiday season, please don't forget the fur babies, because usually the fur babies will not get the food that they need if a household is struggling. I mean, it's just how it is. And we don't want the fur babies to start eating chicken bones and stuff that makes them sick, right? So if you're going to give, if you find it in your heart to give, please don't forget the fur babies. And, then this news thing popped up just this morning. And so I want, as we're carving our moat, as we're carving our place of peace, it is easy to be overwhelmed during this time of year. There's a lot of need, especially this year, especially this year. There's a lot of need, a lot of hands that are out saying, please help me. There's a lot of that. Fur babies, human babies, all kinds of babies, all kinds of people. You have to make sure that you are protecting you too. If you follow me in any way on this channel, you know that I will say hands down, you are not selfish enough in your own self-care. And this holiday season, that is going to be tested because so many people need so many things. But we are building an island of peace and togetherness and community to lift all boats. And I am putting sharks around our island. And I want to encourage you to think about making sure that your little island of peace, your little island in the sand, your little island in the world, where you can find a sense of calm and a sense of security and a sense of stability, is surrounded by some sharks. You got to put some sharks in the water. I remind myself to do what I say. All you can do is what you can. That is it. You do what you can and you don't feel guilty about not doing more. And that is the piece that I think is overwhelmingly why people are getting so mentally exhausted, because they want to do everything or they're being yelled at to do more, and you can only do what you can do. We've heard that cliche saying, you can't fill somebody else's cup if your cup is empty. Well, here's the thing. Right now, there are a lot of broken cups, not empty cups. There are a lot of broken cups, right? But there's this beautiful um process where I think it's Japanese, where broken cups are reformed back into their original shape, but gold is used along the seams to highlight the broken pieces that are now back together in this beautiful new vessel. The people whose lives have been broken in this moment, who need people to care, they need you also to make sure that your cup doesn't get broken. So that when the time comes for them and they put their pieces back together, they know that there were still people out there who were carrying on, who were keeping the world spinning, because they said, no, you will not bring that mess over here. You will not come this way with that. And you will do the best that you can to make sure that when the people whose cup is broken come back to the table, that the table is still intact, that there is still a space for them, that that space didn't get taken away just because they might have disappeared for a moment or two. There's dignity in remembering that everybody deserves peace. There's dignity in remembering that you are one of the everybody, and your own dignity is just as important. Just as important. My friend works with Project Linus. I've not heard of that. Oh, but I need to. Linus? They make and distribute blankets to homeless veterans, elderly children's hospitals. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. I love that. I'm gonna look that up. Project Linus. Okay. Michelle, if you happen to have a link for that, would you drop it in the comments so that anyone who wants to contribute or donate or just check them out can find them? That's a great idea. There's so many places I could drop links. I try not to drop too many, but I may start dropping the Wayside Waste link. No affiliation here. It's just the local animal shelter that always needs donations and things, and I we support them. So it is a very good Tuesday. We have bright sunny skies. We've had something to drink. We have talked about some hard stuff, but some good stuff. We're reminding each other to fill our cup. And I am giving you the marching orders to get out your chainsaw, your scalpel, your hatchet, and begin to make sure that your island of peace has a defined border around it this holiday season, so that you are protecting it at all costs. And if you need to put some sharks in the water, put some sharks in the water to prevent people from getting too close to your island who you know are going to impact your peace, because the holidays bring out the crazy. And this year, I don't see that being any different. Even though people are desperate for connection, we know that that connection can sometimes make them act in ways that are not very connecty, that aren't very fun. And the social epidemic of loneliness has led to people being very savage to each other. So you need to make sure that your boundaries are tight, that the boundaries are closed, unless you know for certain that the person on the other side is there to help you and not to take your peace, because our peace is non-negotiable. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I greatly appreciate it. I will be posting about our holiday party coming up also next Black Friday. If you're not interested in shopping, but you are interested in learning how to protect your peace more and really focusing on your next best chapter, because 2026 is coming. The Life Reimagined workshop is also on Black Friday, an alternative to buying, investing in you. The workshop is free, but space is limited. There will be a link in the bio for that as well. It's nationwide. This is fantastic. Okay, perfect. So I will try to find the link and drop it into the to this chat so that it's attached to this. But I'll also check it out myself. Thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate that. Thank you all for hanging out. It has been fantastic. I will see you Thursday. For those of you who know, I drop a video on Thursday. And whew, sorry, there's a net. We're just warm enough for there to be a net. For there to be a net all of a sudden. I can search near me. Perfect. Project Line is near me. I will do that. Sharks plus emote. That's exactly right. All right. Thank you all for hanging out. I will see you Thursday. And for those of you who know, Thursday is drop day for long form video, but I post all the time. And I will definitely see you all next Tuesday. If y'all could hold a little bit of extra space for my family this week, we have a hospital stay that's coming up. And so I will be rushing back and forth for a few days. So just send us some good vibes if you wouldn't mind. I would really appreciate that. My family would really appreciate that. Have a fantastic day, all. And once again, thank you for joining me. Bye.